Hey guys, so here's your stuff for Monday. Warm-up's pretty simple. We're just going to do 3 minutes. Mountain climbers, use these ones here. Get the foot right by your hand. Warm up the hips, get the heart rate up. Squats, keep them looking good. Weight in the heels, knees out, chest up. Never do we want to kind of just get them over with. We're always kind of trying to be working on that form. So it's always chest up, arms up. So it's just kind of muscle memory when we warming up. They look the same as when we're lifting heavy. It's not just do them just to kind of get them over with, because it's a boring warm up, right? Lunges on the spot, knee to the ground. Keep that front shin vertical. That knee should be over, not past your toes, right? So maybe a little bit past, straight up, but not to the point where my heel's coming off the ground. Okay, and then sit-ups, nothing special. You're gonna do these a bunch in the WOD later. You can use an ab mat, you can use momentum. Hands are touching your toes here. You're touching the ground behind you. You can use momentum, touch your toes. So you can have a mat behind you, you can have an ab mat, that curved mat behind you, or put a towel, roll up a towel and put it on your lower back to keep that natural curve of your spine. But as much momentum as you need, especially later in the WOD when we have to do a whole bunch. But before that, we're going to do like a leg strength. So it's going to be a wall sit. So you're going to do a weighted wall sit. So either I'm going to hold a plate or hold a dumbbell or hold a kettlebell. I'm going to hold this weight on my lap. And I'm going to hold at 90 degrees for 1 minute. Right, so some of you guys might not be able to hold the whole minute. Okay, so what I'd rather you do to make this easier is get rid of this instead of stopping. So if you're in the minute, you get to like 30 seconds and you realize I'm not going to be able to make through the whole minute, get rid of the weight and then keep going to the whole minute. If you really can't hold on, that's when you're going to break, shake it out and start again. But the point is to try to be able to hold a minute. If you think that you can't hold a minute, if you know you can't hold a minute, just do no weight, right? If that's hard for you. But I think, let's say for most people, probably be able to do 30, 45 seconds with a weight. And then maybe you need to, especially later rounds, you might need to get rid of that weight earlier, I mean. But yeah, so right away after my minute, my legs are already pretty blown up. Actually, sorry, with these wall sits, I want to hold at 90 degrees. So I'm not sitting like down here where I'm just kind of resting on my calves and I can hold this forever, because I'm just kind of pushing into the wall. I'm holding at 90 degrees. So I can really feel a lot here. It's making me work. When I'm done that minute, I'm gonna get right into jumping air squats. Okay, try to keep that squat looking good, where I'm vertical, getting explosive, really get that body straight and extended when I'm off the ground, right? So I don't want to just be going, right? So it's extend, drop. Okay, so I'm trying to do those tight. So right when I drop it, so basically it's going to go a minute of squatting, or a minute of sitting on the wall, a minute of jumping squats, as many as I can get, a minute of rest. Next minute, then I go back to the wall sit, try to do the full hold of a minute, and then a minute straight of jumping squats, and then a minute of rest. So those jumping squats should really blow up your legs. Like if you do them really fast for 30, 45 seconds, your legs are going to be blowing up, or you need a second to shake it out. Even if you're good at squats, we're kind of blowing up the legs here pretty good. Okay, so just adjust you shouldn't have to adjust too much on your jumping squats. Just do as many as you can. If you're great at them, blast them out fast. If you're slow at them, do them a little slower, maybe break between each one. No matter what though, you're keeping that squat looking good with the heels on the ground, but this is at my bottom. But when I'm coming up, instead of kind of slowing down to the top, I'm just trying to explode up, right? But make sure I get extended. So we don't have to scale that too much, but just the wall sit. Pick your weight and then get rid of the weight while you're sitting. Don't get up first option is to get rid of the weight, then see if that buys you another 20, 30 seconds. And then if you really have to, if you know you can't make it to the minute, stand up for a sec, go back down. Try to do the whole minute, okay? Yeah, so 5 rounds of that is really gonna blow up the legs, which is also gonna make the WOD a little tougher too. So make sure you got enough time between WODs, between the strength and the WOD. Give yourself a good amount of time. You're gonna wanna plan this WOD out. So 25-minute time cap, get as far as you can, finish it, or just kind of work for 25 minutes if you can't finish it. You're doing 100 box jumps, 200 goblet squats. So 100 box jumps. So usually if we have, in a class, we have a 24-inch box for guys and 20-inch box for girls is kind of like the standard box jump. Pretty fast ones. Sometimes we go higher, sometimes we go lower if we want to speed it up. Probably stick to that same height, but you always got to extend on the top. So it's a 2-foot jump, and then stand up at the top. So what I can't do is do this. And stay bent over. Stand up. Stand, right? I can step down or jump down, but the point is that if I start like landing like just making it, now I got to basically do a squat to stand my stuff up. If I jump really high, I don't have to squat very much. But either way, I got to get to that standing up straight on the top of the box. Goblet squats. These are going to feel a little bit worse after you're doing all those other squats. But you're going to hold. That's right. So you don't have to make it that heavy. It's supposed to be pretty light. Something that maybe I can do, 20 at a time. Stand up. Hold the dumbbell with 2 hands. Keep it right on your shoulders. Don't let it too far out here. I don't want to hold it down here. See how that kind of pulls me down? So hang on to it. Keep it up sort of shoulder height. Just under your chin. Okay? If you have to use a kettlebell, same idea. You can hold it any way you want. As long as it's keeping you upright. If you have a bar, you can do a front squat. But this is supposed to be a dumbbell or kettlebell workout. But if I only have a bar, I can do front squats. But again, make it pretty light. Probably not adding too much to the bar. Yeah, sit-ups are going to be the same as what we did in the warm-up. Use momentum. There's 300 of them. So you don't want to kind of try to make them burn each one. The idea is that they're going to add up. They're going to add up. You're going to keep the heart rate up. And then a weight or carry is you're holding a dumbbell up over your head, locked arm, straight line from kind of this leg to my hand, from my ankle to my hand, right? Straight up and down this way as well, so I don't want to have it out here, and I don't want to have it down here, and I'm walking or running. Okay, so I'm keeping that lock, trying to keep my body straight, so oftentimes you see people trying to starting to look like this, or they're holding it like that off to the side. I'm trying to keep core tight, reach up as hard as I can. I don't want to kind of, this starts to make my arm work, right? Too much. So I'm really trying to press to the sky, right? I can change arms as much as I want. So if I do 10 meters and then I want to switch, and then I'm going to reach to the sky. Kind of a sneaky one that sometimes gets people more than you think. Sometimes, it looks so easy when you walk around and you test the weight in the gym, feels like nothing, and then we go outside and we do 10, 20, 50 meters, and core's breaking. People are looking like this because they're getting tired in the core, and they're sort of, especially if you don't have the best posture, it's hard to keep that line. If we're starting to walk like this, right, because you can't hold it out there, right? Yeah, so the big thing about this WOD is the breaking it up. We've done a couple of these WODs since we've been at home. It's break it up however you want. So you could do it in order. You could do 100 straight box jumps, 200 straight goblet squats, 300 straight sit-ups, and 500 meters of farmer carry, or waiter carry, sorry. Or usually that's slower, right? As you see with like Murph or other WODs where there's like 100 reps in a row, easier if we break that into other rounds, right? That's why sometimes when you newer people ask, can I just break this up however I want? No, right? Unless we say it, because what the point of the WOD is to either make it tougher, right? Or we want to keep the intensity. So this one, we're allowing you to keep the intensity any way you can, right? So if you didn't need to break, it would be fastest to have no transitions, to 100 straight, to 200 straight, 300 straight, 500 straight. That would be the fastest if there was no kind of fatigue, right? But if you do 100 straight box jumps, your legs are going to blow up. 200 straight goblet squats, you're not going to be able to do them that quickly. So what might be faster is doing 10 rounds of 10 box jumps, 20 goblet squats, 30 sit-ups, 50 meters of weight or carry, right? That might be quicker. Kind of each thing will get a little bit of a break while you're doing the other thing. So if I'm doing sit-ups, my legs are getting a little bit of a break. If I'm doing the weight or carry, right, I'm kind of okay for box jumps when I get back there, because that's more of kind of a core and upper body thing. So it's up to you how you want to do it. You can also do 5 rounds of 20 box jumps, 40 goblet squats, 60 sit-ups, and 100 meter weight or carry, or you could do some other combos. But the point is that you're more than welcome to do it in order. But the point is, I don't want to be doing 5 squats at a time to get to 200, right? I want to kind of be getting 20, and then I want to, or 10 or 20, and then I want to move on to the next thing, get that thing moving fast, keep the intensity high, move on to the next thing, keep the intensity high, as opposed to have it all slow down and almost come to a standstill. Okay? So I would say that the more conditioned you are, the bigger your sets can be, right? If you're very, got great conditioning, these are all great movements for you, and you've done some of these kind of big WODs before with big reps, maybe you're dabbling with like bigger sets, almost like the 5-round thing. If you know that 10 reps of squats really adds up for you, you could do 20 rounds and then half those numbers, right? 20 rounds of 5 box jumps, 10 squats, 15 sit-ups, 25 meters of weight or carry. That kind of gives everything a break, right? It seems daunting having 20 rounds, but it's like you get to do a lot of little check marks off of this, lots of transitions, okay? So play with your own strategy based on your skills, but I'd say the simplest one, just for kind of math reasons, is 10 rounds of 10, 20, 30, 50, right? But yeah, you gotta measure out that. You need a 25 meter distance. I don't know if you have one of those marked yet. You might have to do that, or you do inside. You could be doing like a 10 if you have 10 meters on your driveway to work with, or you have something like that you can mark out, okay? So, yeah. So I'd like to see the different strategies people work with, okay? Good luck.